delay in starting. I know that we have potentially have somebody on the line ready to join us, but I will call to order the City of Grande Prairie organizational meeting for October 21st, 2019. I'd call the meeting to order, and as we started a new tradition last organizational meeting with recognizing Treaty 8 territory as we start our work for the year. I would like to do this brief introduction as I did last year before making that recognition. Treaty 8 is one of 11 numbered treaties made between the First Nations people of Canada and the Crown of England, representing the Government of Canada. These treaties are agreements that outline how the land we all now call Canada is intended to be shared by all. Not all Canadians are aware of the treaties and their contents or how they continue to be relevant to today, so a little context can be helpful. The treaties themselves can be seen to derive their legal status from the Royal Proclamation of 1763, which states that only the Crown had the ability to enter into agreements with First Nations peoples with respect to land. The treaties were the way the Crown proceeded through that process. The intent of the Royal Proclamation and the validity of treaties like Treaty 8 is still recognized today in Section 35 of the Canadian Constitution Act. Treaty 8 covers an area of 840,000 square kilometers and is larger than the nation of France and includes all of northern Alberta, northeastern British Columbia, northwestern Saskatchewan, and a southernmost portion of the Northwest Territories. First signed in a meeting on the 21st of June, 1899 at Lesser Slave Lake, the Treaty 8 agreement predates both the creation of the province of Alberta, which occurred in 1905, and the incorporation of the municipality of Grande Prairie, which didn't happen until 1914. Further adhesions to the agreement came throughout 1899 and early 1900 during meetings at Peace River Landing, Dunvegan, Fort Vermilion, Fort Chipewyan, Smith's Landing, Fond du Lac, Fort McMurray, Wabasca Lake, Fort St. John, Lesser Slave Lake, Fort Vermilion, and Fort Resolution. So the authority that underpins our system of laws in Canada that led to the creation of the province of Alberta and the establishment of the municipality of the Grande Prairie is the same authority that entered into the agreement represented by Treaty 8. So recognizing all that context, it's my pleasure to make this acknowledgement as we begin our work for the year. We are all treaty people, and we acknowledge the homeland of the many diverse First Nations and Métis people whose ancestors have walked this land from time immemorial. We are grateful to work, live, and learn on the traditional territory of Treaty 8. With that, we'll move into our only reports for this organizational meeting. Item 3.1, Council meeting calendar and Council member appointments. There are a couple of recommendations, Council, coming forward. The first is the meeting calendar for standing committees and Council for the period of October 22nd, 2019 to October 18th, 2020. And I believe we have Councillor Blackburn calling in. Councillor Blackburn, are you there?
Yes, I am.
It's good to hear you, Councillor Blackburn.
Thank you.
So Council is required to for all Council members are required to be present to adopt a schedule of Council meetings, and so that's why Councillor Blackburn is making sure to be with us here today. And so Council, you can see that attachment in the package. Can I have a motion to pass that meeting calendar? Councillor Thiessen.
Thank you very much, Mayor Given. I would gladly move that Council approve the City of Grande Prairie meeting calendar for Council and Standing Committees for the period of October 22nd, 2019 to October 18th, 2020 as presented.
Okay, thanks very much, Councillor Thiessen. Is there any discussion or debate? Not seeing anyone ring in, I will first call for the vote here in Council chambers, and then Councillor Blackburn, I will ask you for your vote. Council members in chambers, please vote. Thank you. And Councillor Blackburn, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Thank you. That motion is then unanimous. Councillor Blackburn, thanks very much for taking time to join us in this. And we all wish you well with your treatment as it's ongoing. We look forward to your updates.
Thank you very much.
We'll move on then to item number 2, a recommendation for appointments of council members to standing committees, council committees, and council representatives. Thanks to my council colleagues around the table, there were a couple of oversights that were noticed, and so we'll make sure just to highlight those now. We missed the Grande Prairie Storm. We'd previously appointed Councillor Palat to that, and that's started up just over the last year or so, and so my recommendation would be to continue that appointment. Councillor O'Toole has been our representative on the Francophone and Francophile Cities Network, and my recommendation would be to have him continue in that role. And the relatively new School Sites Committee has yet to start its work, but we had previously appointed Councillor Dylan Bressy to that external organization, and so my recommendation would be to keep that appointment as well. Can I get a motion for the recommendations with those amendments? Councillor O'Toole.
Thank you very much, Mayor Given. I move that we approve the appointments of council members to the standing committees, council committees, and council representatives as presented with the amendments that Mayor Given has spoke of.
Okay. Thanks very much, Councillor O'Toole. Any discussion or debate on those amendments? On that motion, seeing none, I will call for the vote. Please vote. Thank you. That motion carries. And finally, we have the schedule for Deputy Mayor, Councillor Palat.
Thanks, Mayor Given. I'd move that we approve the Deputy Mayor schedule from October 2019 to October 2020 as presented.
Okay. Thanks very much, Councillor Palat. Any discussion or debate on that recommendation? Again, seeing none, I will call for the vote. Please vote. Thank you. And that motion carries. I believe that handles all of our items of business for this council organizational meeting. Now we know where we're supposed to be and when we're supposed to be there for the next year. And we will adjourn our organizational meeting, and in just half a second, we'll start up our regular council meeting.